Hello, everyone. This is Masters of Dungeons. I am Molly. Today we'll be playing Illios the Illios campaign session 17. Right, and these are the players.
Hey everyone, I'm Logan, and I will be playing Illios the Lionheart, the Goliath Paladin of Ilmater.
I'm Ryan. I'm playing Soren, the new guy.
I'm Wesley. I'm playing Adrian von Silas. It's kind of complicated. Just watch.
I'd have to agree with your character description of Mal. Okay, so let's get into it. Definitely click the mute button instead of the get rid of the camera button. The feeling of warmth grows alien to you. It's, save for two of you, you can't quite remember what it feels like. Frost clings to your very being as white clouds of death cloud your vision as you trek through the mountains of the gray spines towards Marangol. The cold, which all but two of you have known, tears at you constantly with every step, draining more of your energy as you press forward into the maelstrom. You have been traveling for a day and a half, and I would like everyone to roll Constitution saving throws right now. Illigith, you have advantage because, well, you know why.
Because I used to live here! Huh! Beautiful. That's what I was looking for. 18 on the die. Plus 5 billion.
So,
Hey, Laura, what's your modifier?
Yeah,
Modifier?
3. That's right, it's 3. The save is plus 3. Slight warmth radiates from Illigith. Yeah, plus 3.
alright, well, I'm glad that you got the +3, because anyone who got lower than a 15, well,
Hey, that applies to Raymond and Dolgrim as well.
I know,
Under 15.
gains a level of exhaustion, and
Who is that?
Mate.
Oh, Soren. That makes sense, though. You were wounded, right?
Yeah.
alright, like I said, anyone who failed, it was a DC 15, gets a level of exhaustion, and their maximum HP is reduced by 14.
Oh, dear.
Why
I just gotta chill. Is that a sign?
Yep.
Excuse me.
Dolgrim is heading the charge. I know that. Can y'all describe y'all's marching order through the blizzard?
I think I'd probably be in the back, unless Illigath wanted to be in the back.
So, yeah, Illigith did want to be in
Okay, then I'll be in the front. Yeah.
Dolgrim's leading in the front, Ilgith in the back.
Yeah. So Malvadrian, Soren, and everybody else, and then at the back, Illigath.
Yeah.
All right. And then Dolgrim's in front of me, obviously. But anyway.
Illigith is kind of like, behind Soren and Raymond, and he's kind of, in his wide body, kind of shelters over them as they proceed forward.
Raymond.
Back or from the front?
Huh?
Is the wind at our back
or
from the front?
The wind is blowing you backwards at this current moment.
Lovely.
Well, actually, yeah, I already said it. Hey.
Rip.
Raymond, it's a good thing that you're behind both him and Soren, Illigith, because Raymond is barely able to take any steps forward. It's more like you're pushing him along with you. It seems as if looking at him, he is chilled to the core. It looks like all of his energy is being spent shivering. He is not able to get any words out, and it seems as if there is some minor frostbite affecting him.
Morgan, anyone? We'll freeze to death, searching for the bones of a madwoman.
I remember it.
Favorite scene ever.
And yeah, Raymond basically, yeah, like I said, you're basically having to just push him forward. Because he's not getting anywhere by himself right now. The visibility right now, all of you can only see 20 feet in front of you. It is so bad right now. You can't make out the sun, anything in the sky, just like I said earlier, just this sheet of white and frost blowing against you and blocking your vision.
Time of day before the blizzard set in?
Time of day at this moment
Or that?
is around, as I miss my dice tower. It's okay, I can see the roll. It is 5 in the evening right now.
Okay. And Soren's thing took place early morning, and we had a short rest. Just call it at noon or whatever. Okay. All right, just
try and light a torch, Molly, with prestidigitation. See how that goes.
All right. You attempt to light a torch with prestidigitation.
I want to kind of use like Raymond and Mal as like a wind blocker for this torch.
All right. Good. So with that, a flame clings to life on the torch. It's very weak, but there is one there, with the majority of the wind being blocked by the people in front of you. Dolgrim from the front, who is leading this expedition, says, and you can barely hear him above the wind, but thankfully his voice carries a tad bit. There's at least 3 or 4 more hours of travel before we reach the outpost. Do you want to continue?
Illigith, you're barely hearing this from the back. Has this like huge smile on his face that is completely in contrast to the situation as per usual. And he hears what Dolgrim has to say, but in the weather like this, it would be difficult to stop in the middle of kind of like an open environment. And so he says, Dolgrim, unless we find some kind of shelter, unfortunately, we cannot stop, my friend.
I know. I just wanted to see if we wanted to look. If we wanted to keep trekking. Seems we have a few lagging behind in the back.
Yeah, well, do not worry about them. The strength of your mother will continue to push them forward. Heh.
You get the feeling he's smiling, but you can't really see him. So, all right. How is Mal faring right now?
So he rolled a 15, so he's obviously very uncomfortable. But being in the military for such a long time before. He's grown accustomed to walking while hungry, being in unfavorable weather conditions, and the like. But in truth, this is a very new environment that he's not used to. And looking back to Raymond and everybody else, he can just feel the wear and the tear that this trek is having, as like snow is just kind of blanketing everybody. But out of all of this, this wasteland of cold, as he kind of lifts one foot and places it after the other, the one thought that kind of keeps him going is the warmth of Zoe's smile as he walks, and he thinks about why he's doing this. And he thinks, we can't stop. We have to keep going, no matter what. And so that is probably the only thing keeping him from just being one step closer to Raymond's, where he's at right now. So that's kind of where his headspace is at. Determined, very cold, and very tired. But yeah, that's him.
You hear in your head, "Sure glad I'm not you right now."
He doesn't think that dignifies a response because he's way too exhausted to have an argument with it right now.
All right. As you move forward, Malvadrian, you said you were behind Dolgrim?
Yeah, I'm the first of us in the order.
Right. So Dolgrim stops just for a second. It seems he's run into something. Like, blasted, what the hell? And can barely make out in front of you. It's almost been entirely covered by snow. But you see, laying under the snow is the corpse of a frost giant.
Dolgrim, what's going? And then he sees the frost giant. Can we see what killed it? Like if there's like a wound or if there's something like that.
So so I would say it looks like. All right. So it looks like if you spent time to uncover it, it looks like it's been here for a few days. You might get the feeling. It's a frost giant, so its skin is more resistant to the cold than anything, but you can see scattered amongst his body as you take the time to look. You see that it is riddled with crossbow bolts and with what looks like a contusions, maybe like a hammer or a warhammer, like something might have hit this thing, maybe a rock, you're not sure.
We have instantly become Geralt of Rivia.
Dolgrim, is this what people's handiwork, or is this something else?
Yeah, so Dolgrim, without really skipping a beat, if you ask that question, it looks as if it's the handiwork of dwarfs, my brethren.
What is going on, my friends? Why have we stopped?
There's a dead fucking giant in front of us.
Is that so? I will take a look.
Illios takes a look.
Yep, it's a giant.
Yes, this is giant. What do you mean?
This is what happens to things that are not welcome here. Maybe we haven't seen any of their patrols. I doubt they would go out in this weather. But they do go out this far from time to time. They probably found it and killed it.
Can we Can we tell how long it's been dead, or did you already say that?
Yeah, it looks like it's been dead for a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, so it's totally cold. All right.
In this case, I just hope they don't mistake us for... I don't know literally anything else out here.
Well,
Sometimes they shoot first and ask questions later.
it's a good thing you're in the back then, Illios. But I guess this is a good sign, I think. Maybe.
Unless the rest of them are looking for revenge.
Yeah.
The frost giants. They tend to be loners.
Aye, they do.
Everybody has some.
Take your word for it. But unless there's anything else here, we should probably get going, no?
Yes, this weather, I'm sure, is becoming quite unbearable for some of you. So let us find shelter.
Yeah, how many more hours of daylight do we have? It being 5, being so further up north.
At 5 o'clock.
Probably not. Like none.
Yeah, like that's actually a pretty good question. You'll probably have about, I'd say an hour or 2 at most of daylight. And Dolgrim said he thought that it would take about 3 or 4 hours to get to the outpost.
Well, I know that some of us here can see in the dark, but I know I sure can't.
I'm fine for wandering through the dark.
All right,
Just
well,
wondering if y'all are.
I can see just fine. Well, better than most.
I suppose if I have someone to guide me, then it'd be fine, but so, Illios, what do you think? Is it safe to walk these things in the dark?
Well, unless we find shelter along this path, and like I said before, we should not stop.
All right, then. Let's get a move on.
The only thing we should just watch out for dire wolf packs. It's the only things that are really active at night. But hopefully we should be fine in the blizzard.
Ilya takes like another look.
I'm telling you, you're afraid of a few wolves.
Would be if I was alone, not with y'all.
Ilya takes another look at the frost giant body, looking for any signs of scavengers having picked it apart or anything like that. I don't think that you said it had any bite marks or that it was like intact mostly.
Yeah, it was just arrows and blunt force contusions from like warhammers.
Yeah, this guy was pretty much just buried in the snow until y'all kind of came along and bumped into it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But
bring out your dead.
Yeah, I was like, but if you would like to harvest some frost giant meat, to each their own.
We could pull a Luke Skywalker and cut up in its corpse and then just rest on the inside of its entrails.
So that was kind of, in thereabouts was like my question, like how long it had been there. But
old Luke.
Yeah, that thing ain't warm at all. Yeah. All right. So, y'all continue. Y'all trek forward. Oh, well, actually, there's one last thing. Raymond, of course, shivering, manages to get out a few words. Ooh, why did... And then he... Oh, the giant. It's dead.
Raymond, I think it's probably best you conserve your energy.
Poor Raymond.
Let's get a move on.
Okay.
Come on, lad. You must keep moving in order to stay warm.
It'll monitor give me warmth. Alright, so y'all travel for another hour or 2. Light begins to fade. and darkness descends. The only visible light at this point is the small torchlight of Soren's that he has lit. And the blizzard continues on strongly.
I'm gonna yell for Dolgrim to stop real quick.
Hey, I gotcha. He'd stop.
Let me make my way up there. Slowly but surely treks the 10 feet or so to catch up, and he looks at the front of Dolgrim for a pendant or something and presses his hand against his chest and casts light on it. Just so you don't get lost.
If a dwarf like me got lost in the mountains, I'd be the laughing stock.
Well,
My kid.
more that we don't get lost from you.
Yeah.
There you go. Alright, so there is a light source now. And Illigith in the back, you can make it out, but barely. So at least you don't have dark vision. But one, you're at least used to these conditions, and two, you now have a little bit of light.
Yeah. Illigith kind of I don't know, it's kind of after having traveled behind his friends for the last couple of hours and really seeing how this environment is taking a toll on them. He says a small prayer under his breath. Ilmater, please provide warmth to my comrades as we are continue upon our journey. And Raymond, Soren, and Malvadrian are all going to be given the aid spell. So they will gain +5 to their max HP for 8 hours.
Ooh, I'm back to 81.
Nice.
I'm only down 9.
All right. And with that prayer, everyone feels a little bit warmer on the inside.
Or at least that they can keep moving.
Yeah. Definitely helped out Raymond a little bit. He's able to eke forward a little bit now. Right. A couple more hours pass. It feels like it's been longer than 3 or 4 hours. In fact, it feels like every hour is taking 3 or 4. It seems as if y'all are barely making any ground. You can't really make out the surroundings around you. You know you're traveling in the mountains and you're following Dolgrim. And there's just a sheet of white. And you're hoping that he knows the way. But after what seems like an eternity, through the blizzard, with the light that Soren has provided Dolgrim, you can barely make out the outline of a large structure that looks as if it's carved from the mountainside. As you get closer, it blends in with the gray stone it's made out of, and a stone walkway extends from the top, covering a passage overhead with a large set of iron doors at the bottom, preventing passage onward. It seems we've made it.
I'll open the door. Fucking cold.
Those are the doors to continue forward.
Open them.
There should be a lad. I can't open those doors but myself, and I'm not going to pass through a door of an outpost and get shot to hell. They should be around here somewhere. And
while Dolgrim is kind of like searching around, Illigith stands, staring at the two doors, effectively looking like he's sizing them up.
I think Soren looks up to him. You want to move this process a little faster? I'm not sure what he's looking for.
Yeah, so Illigith examining these doors, you get the feeling that these doors are meant to keep out things that are bigger than you. So you get the feeling that even with a Herculean feat of strength, you probably wouldn't be able to open them.
So you're saying there's a chance?
That's what I heard.
I heard a probably in there.
Shit.
Anyway, that's what he does while Dolgrim's doing what he's doing.
Yep.
And so just to clarify, this outpost, there's no dwarves here. That seems to be like nobody's home type of a thing. I kind of missed that part.
Yeah, so to answer that question, who among you has the highest passive perception?
Probably me. Let me check.
I have a 15.
Okay, I have a 15 as well, so.
Alright.
I just kind of imagine where, because of the field of view, mostly what we see in front of us are just two massive doors and a huge wall.
Pretty much.
Kind of all I am envisioning.
That's essentially what you do see.
Okay.
But Soren and Mal, maybe as you're kind of thinking about this, where are the dwarves? You hear barely audibly a familiar clicking sound, at least to you, Malvager, and it sounds to you like the sound of crossbows being loaded.
And are they on top of like the rafters of this outpost? Or are they like on our sides, behind us? Whereabouts is that sound coming from?
Yeah, so when you hear that sound and you look around, maybe you do too, Soren as well, you look around and you can see these small figures kind of hidden a little, kind of hidden naturally into the mountainside, but they look like they're on small outcroppings, barely through the blizzard. And you can see them above you. If you look closer, you see some dwarves on top of the wall that were maybe camouflaged that you might not have seen before. But they're there, and they've loaded, and I'd like to know if y'all would do anything.
So yeah. So Soren, I have something that I can say. It's nothing special, but if you wanted to say something first, go for it.
I'm looking for something. You do your thing.
Okay. Well there, friends. We don't mean any trouble. Delbram? Want to take over?
About the time that, I imagine we're not exactly right next to each other as we're kind of examining this door and things, and you see something that's going on, but all the while, Illigith at this point, after having seriously considered whether or not he could manage this feat, does what any good Illigith would do and walks to the doors. At this point, right when you're saying, whoa, 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 puts his hands on the doors and attempts to pull.
But they're push doors.
Yeah,
and attempts to push is what I said, Molly.
But they're pull doors.
And attempts.
But they're sliding doors.
So as Malvadrian says this, the Illigith, you're going up to the doors.
Yeah.
Dolgrim says, "Wait! Don't shoot! Illigith, back away from the door right now."
Wait, did you want me to back away? Why? It does not appear we are getting these doors open anytime soon.
How many crossbow bolts have lunged into Illios' skin at this point?
So there have been 10 crossbow shots that have gone to Illigoth, but only 2 hit their mark. And Illigoth is going to take.
I'm gonna shrug it off.
Illigoth is going to take 15 piercing damage from both of these shots.
I'm gonna shrug it off, and I'm sorry, this is just funny. I'm gonna shrug it off with a D12.
Yeah. So as these shots are going off, Malvadrian screams at the top of his lungs to stop. And I feel like his mark of Minty will kind of flare up a little bit as like he gets this strong emotion.
Always low.
Stop!
So I negate 5 of that, and go ahead.
All right. And Dolgrim has been trying to say basically the same thing as you, Mal, but basically when your mark flares up in this little flash of light, there's this commanding presence about you as you do this, and the crossbow bolts stop. You still hear more being loaded, but everything kind of ceases. And there's just silence amidst the blizzard for 5 seconds. 10 seconds.
We have been shot! We are under attack!
And
He's stupid.
And to y'all's left, you hear, actually all around you, you hear the sounds of feet hitting the ground.
Raymond, you must get down, says Illigoth as he turns around.
About 30 sets of feet.
And as he turns around, he sees his ally is kind of like in this, like
Heroes.
whoa,
No.
whoa, we are not here to make waves or anything like that. And Raymond's kind of just sitting there like,
Raymond's passed out from the fear. That's on the ground.
Illigoth is kind of like stuck in the middle, like looking side to side, as he kind of pulls one of the bolts out of his massive peck or something.
So basically, y'all are all surrounded and kind of being encircled by this dwarven armada, with crossbows raised. And Avadrin, you're holding your hands up. No one really looks like they're itching for a fight. And one moves forward amidst the dwarves, and I will send y'all his picture on the group me.
Well, you can't tell the general public about the group me. It's secret knowledge.
Ha 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 ha. But yeah. So yeah, I sent the picture. And this dwarf runs forward, except unlike in the picture, he is dressed in heavy set gray cloaks, fur gray coats, and a crossbow is raised. And you can see on his face, his nose isn't normal. It's almost like there's a chunk of iron strapped to his face. And you wonder about the practicality of iron in cold weather being strapped to him, but it doesn't seem to bother him as he walks forward. And he says, "Hey, what do outsiders have business here at the entrance to Farkan's Pass?" Do not speak.
We have found the dwarves!
Do not speak. And you hear,
as he gets down on his knee, raising his arms up, clearly unfazed by all of the death that is around him.
Yep. And Dahlgrim at this said, Roderick, you idiot! It's me, Dogrum. Dogrum Mountain Breaker, you dolt. And this dwarf, whose name is apparently Roderick, who has just been staring at Illigith with just hatred in his eyes, kind of looks over to where Dolgrim is, and the hatred in his eyes subsides a little bit, and he looks visibly confused for a moment. He falters. Dolgrim? Excuse me. Dolgrim? What are you doing here? I came back with help. We have a message for the king, and we require passage. And Roderick takes a minute to take this in. Is anyone gonna say something? I'm just wondering.
I feel like Dolgrim kind of summed up everything pretty decently well. So.
Gotcha.
I mean, I don't have anything to say.
Yep, just wanted to make sure.
Illigith is kind of still on one knee, but he's kind of lowered his arms a little bit.
Soren is next to Illigith, his arm resting on his shoulder. But instead of leaning over, Illigith's shoulder's quite high and looks kind of awkward.
Of course, there's this like massive radiant smile emanating from the Goliath.
And Roderick, now at what Dolgrim is saying, is basically his eyes turn back to Illigith and they narrow. You say you bring help. Then why are you in the presence of a half-giant Dolgrim?
Illigith kind of like looks around. I see no half giant.
I'm talking to you, beast.
Curious.
Soren whispers in his ear, I think he means me.
You! Certainly not this man here.
Dolgrim, if he opens his mouth one more time, my boys will fire on him. Do you understand? Illigith, just stay quiet for a little bit. I'm working on something. They don't think kindly to Goliath. And he turns back. This one is different. He's not feral like the ones you know. He's here to help, as are the rest of them. And Roderick, for the first time, seems to look at someone other than Dolgrim and Illigith. And he looks at you, Mal, says, Hey, that skin color. Mariborian, am I right?
You have a good eye for someone so far north. Yes. And he kind of extends his hand down, kind of like looking kind of like a little like around to see if like he slowly extends his hand as to not like aggressively. Now that you drink one Silas. First sergeant of the former Mariborian army.
I know who you are.
Well, I kind of looked at Dolgrim as to like kind of like a confused look.
Word of you has gotten around, Mal. You're the martyr of Serenity, have you not forgotten?
I didn't know.
Yes, well, news travels.
Alright, that's fair.
And he,
Did he ever take my hand? Has it just been awkwardly here this entire... I'm kind of imagining that like he's trying to introduce himself. He's like, I know who you are. This doesn't even shake his hand.
So Roderick doesn't shake your hand, but... Yeah. But he says, and you? What are you? looking at Soren.
I am just a man from the south.
From the south. That's
It's bright and it is warm and glorious, unlike this hellhole.
I see a bit of guilt in you. You could have just said that. Although when he says that, he's still eyeing you kind of curiously, as he doesn't believe you 100%, but he doesn't stay on you. He says,
Yeah, Malvadrian was kind of like watching him very intently to see if there would ever be like a connection, because Celestial is a little bit distinctive in terms of appearance, and so he's very much eyes on him, just in case. Not on Soren, but on Roderick.
yeah, if Roderick gives indication that he knows that he's celestial, you don't notice anything.
Right. That's fair.
Of course, could just be because there's a blizzard outside, you're not sure. But Roderick says, "Hey, my name is Roderick Redbeard. Although a lot of people get to calling me Iron Nose these days. That's account of this." He points to the nose.
What would you like us to call you?
Just call me Roderick.
How about we go inside, Roderick?
I was just about to suggest that.
Oh, glorious warmth.
Alright. You see, if Dogram wasn't with you, you'd all probably be dead by now. And at that, he turns around and holds his hand up. Alright, boys, they're good. We're going up for a hot meal. The day's over now. Except for you. Except for you all. You're on night duty. Don't let me catch you skipping it. Malvadrian, you kind of, maybe it's a little bit of nostalgia, because it seems that these dwarves are military men as well.
If there's nothing else, Molly, as we walk into the barracks or wherever we're going to, I would like to have a word with Dolgrim as we're kind of like walking in.
All right, yeah. So yeah, y'all are kind of walking into barracks. It seems that there's an entrance, kind of a camouflage into the side of the mountain. Then there's a set of stairs that leads up into the structure in front of y'all. But yeah, what would you like to say, Mel?
So he is a mountain dwarf. Obviously, we're in the mountains, right?
Yeah, all these dwarves are mountain dwarves.
Okay. So as we're kind of walking, kind of in silence, being watched carefully, I assume, I kind of speak in a low tone as I'm walking side by side with Dolgrim. Dolgrim, your kinsman always so unfriendly to outsiders. Wary of outsiders. Wary.
Dolgrim just kind of looks at you and speaks back in a hushed voice. Hey, no, we don't take kindly to outsiders. You all are probably the first to arrive in the city ever since Andvar took power.
What's that?
My king. And yeah, and with that, everyone has been led into the barracks. When you get in there, thankfully, there is a roaring fire in the midst, and so the frost that has just kind of been seeped into y'all's bones subsides just a little bit. And, for the first time in probably the last week, you feel something akin to warmth. It was Farkin's Pass. I'll put it in the chat.
Soren practically jumps in the fire.
And it should be noted that in here, everything looks incredibly utilitarian, if you get my gist. Like, there's not, there's not very many ornaments or like anything around. Things are there based on, what they need it. There's not any dwarven craftsmanship or like anything that you can really see. Just a plain just a plain outpost made of stone with a fire and rooms and some beds and whatnot. Not very much decoration in here at all.
The last time we were told of the king of Marengol, his name was Bjarn.
Was it?
Yeah. I just want to make sure that there's not a coup going on, and it was just a DM thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if that
Plot twist.
derails you.
I think that would have been better off left as in the chat thing. Anyway.
Logan, you metagaming?
I mean, what?
I think this is a good question. That should be answered.
I mean, I didn't really think about it that much until I said it, and then I was like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so it'll be addressed.
So it's a thing, okay. Who took power?
So Roderick kind of motions y'all over to sit around the fire, and to the rest of the dwarven folk, they kind of take off their hoods, kind of undress of their coats. Of course, all very strong, stout figures, and says, "All right, boys, go. You've earned the rest. Go to it. I'll deal with them." Right, and they kind of go off, do their thing, and y'all are all sitting around on these very boring-looking wooden benches around the fire. LOL in the chat.
Do you have any more of those cloaks? Maybe I could borrow one.
Hey, buddy. Give it here. And there's a dwarf that kind of grumbles and throws his coat. He hands it to you.
Thanks, buddy. And thank you.
All right. So, and he sits down. Tell me, what help do you think we need? He says this kind of condescendingly.
Yeah, so Mole, I'll be honest, I don't know how much you want us to talk versus like Dolgren, since this is kind of his place. So I'm kind of like, if you want us to talk, like, just let us know.
I would like y'all to talk.
Okay.
He's basically Dolgrim will chime in when he's needed or when he has something important to say, but y'all are the players.
Okay, so just so I get this right, I'm gonna just say it in character, and if I say something that's not canon, just like, hey, by the way, we're actually here for this reason. But kind of like given this question, Elvadrian kind of sits up and says, well, so we said, what help do we think you think that we need, right?
Yeah.
Do we know of any trouble that's actually going on up here? Because I thought we came up here to ask them for help, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. So, as far as you know, what Dolgrim's told you, there's not really much other than maybe the fact that the current king seems to be not the most liked.
Okay, I'll work with that. That's fine. So could you repeat the question you asked, just so I...
Hey, so I'll just put it this way. Hey, so why are you here?
Well, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Ah, shit. 1 second. Sorry. My computer's about to die unless I put my I touch with the die. Let's put the little charger in for 1 second. 1 second.
Rip.
Well, well, the world is literally dying. Okay, we're good. Sorry, that was like 3 seconds away. Anyway. We think that the Celestials are about to march and take more of the land than they have right now. And if they take, what's the city's name that we came from? Merton.
Yeah, Merton.
And that's in the middle of the continent, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, this is kind of probably should have asked you this before we started as to like the express reason as we why we were here, but
Yeah, I probably should have told Joel to refresh up a little bit.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Started. Really my
anyway,
bad.
no, it's all good. It's all good. We have come here to request an alliance with the dwarves of Marangall. So forget everything else I said, and that's all I'm saying is we've come to request an alliance, to form an alliance with the dwarves of Marangall. Gold, Gaul, either way.
Yeah, so Roderick kind of smiles a little bit, kind of chuckles, and looks at Dolgrim. Aye, really? You should probably turn back then.
Retreat is not an option.
You said retreating is not an option?
Yes.
Well, I'm just letting you know. With how things are going on around here and how we see it, it's everyone else's problem.
So you think that you're safe up in these mountains? That's what you're saying.
Yes, I do.
And for the first time since y'all started speaking, Soren goes to interrupt. If y'all are looking to stay out of this, then why is Dalton meeting with your king for the last month?
Actually, that's legitimately Illigith clearing his throat.
This being news to both of you.
Yeah.
And I immediately looked to Malvadrian.
What? And I look at to see if that like has an impact on Roderick. As I look over at Soren, then look over at Roderick.
Yeah, so Roderick kind of...
I want to insight his reaction. Or
Yeah.
what
Yeah, go for it. Roderick kind of tilts his head a little bit, raises an eyebrow. Dalton?
I want to cast Zone of Truth.
Sorry, friend, I don't really know who you're referring to.
And just
Anyone who visits here has to go through this pass, or any other pass that we have.
Dalton's a seeker, right, Molly? Or is he called something else?
He is a high seeker of the Imperium.
Okay.
Dalton
Perhaps
need passageway to get to where he wants to go.
Roderick feels like he can't tell a lie.
Yep. And even under the gist of the spell, does he know he's being...
Yes.
Right, so
He
Roderick...
doesn't know where it's coming from, though.
Yeah. Roderick's eyes kind of widen a little bit suspiciously. But from the inside and the zone of truth, he says he's telling the truth. He really has no idea who Dalton is. And he's feeling like, okay, you're trying to pull our chain to get me to help or something like that. Yeah,
Wow.
no, I don't know who that is.
Well, he's a high seeker of the Imperium. Very high up the chain. And your king is meeting with the seeker of the Imperium. You're not as safe as you think you are. I can
Or as
guarantee you
informed.
that.
Aye,
What,
and
Ryan?
yeah, what, Ryan?
I said, or as informed as you think you are.
Boom!
Yeah,
Yeah, and so Roderick, it looks as if his cool has kind of been broken for the first time. And Dahlgren, by the way, as soon as you said Dalton was meeting with the king, he looks at you with wide eyes. Like, how do you know this? And Roderick responds to all of you. This is a very grievous accusation on our king. I hope you realize this. Our king is stubborn, and some do not agree with his decisions. Some of them I don't as well. But he is a good king, sticks to tradition. A little bit more than some might like. But he would never betray our people. So I ask you, how do you know this? What was your name?
The name is Soren, son of Severus.
Well, Soren, son of Severus, what proof do you have?
My father is, I guess, member of the High Council of the Celestials. And I was a seeker.
And so Roderick's eyes kind of narrow.
Would he know that I'm in this like zone of truth as well?
that's a good question, Ryan. Thought you might ask something like that.
You're asking if Soren knows or if Roderick knows that Soren is in the...
Well, would Roderick know that Soren? Because if Roderick knows, Soren would know too.
Mm-hmm.
Would Roderick know that Soren's in this circle?
So, per the spell, Roderick does know.
Yeah.
So you would as well.
No, I mean, Soren, regardless of Soren knows, he's trying to say, is there some way that Roderick would deduce that Soren is also not telling a lie?
So Roderick doesn't know. He knows something is going on. He doesn't
Okay.
really know what. I guess he would. I guess he would feel. I don't know. He was already telling the truth. So you said they do feel compelled to tell the truth in Zone of Truth?
I mean, unless they want to make a charisma throw.
Uh-huh. So maybe he would. So for the ease of this, let's just say he does know.
Okay, that's fine. If they choose to make the throw, then I get to know whether they passed or failed.
Okay.
But they don't have to make the save.
Right. So Roderick says, "And you have picked quite the beast. Traveled directly into their belly, haven't you?" Did you betray them?
Not exactly, but
Not exactly. Doesn't sound very reassuring,
oh,
friend.
I believe it was out of spirit of self-preservation, says Illios.
that and I found out the truth behind the Celestial Empire. That is not something I could agree with. When they found me, I was being hunted by 3 or 4 of them, 3 or 4 other seekers, and they saved my life. And he lifts his shirt and shows like
horrific wound.
Yeah, that hasn't closed because it's too cold to actually close.
Now, he has no reason to lie to you. We have no reason to lie to you. And if what we say is true, is it a kingdom? Kingdom is in grave danger. And we could use you just as much as you could use us.
Roderick seems as if he's sitting there pondering. And before Roderick gives a reply, Dolgrim kind of cuts in. Says, Roderick, if you refuse their help and refuse our call, then you're truly an idiot. And so is the king. And Roderick eyes are kind of cold at this, and he says, words like that is what you got thrown out in the first place. If I were to follow orders, you would be dead right now, Dolgrim. You traveling with a half-giant is treason enough. But desertion, that's even worse. And you get the feeling as they're talking that, Dolgrim and Roderick sort of have a history. Just let us go to the king. Let us go to Anvar. Let us speak to him. Guide us through the pass. He won't be able to ignore us. And, as I said before, the Celestials will wipe us out. And he points to Mal. You do know what happened in his homeland. Mountains turn to ash. If they come, they will destroy us.
They can be across the span of the land in an instant. They can transport anywhere they desire. Your mountains, they keep you locked in. What you think your defenses are is actually your prison. You do not want to be up against them with no allies. I can tell you that. It may not be enough, but it's better than doing this alone. Let us go and speak to your king.
Roderick looks at Dolgrim, then to you, Mal, and then back to Dolgrim, and he looks down and sighs. Fine. I agree to take you and a couple of my boys down to Marengo and introduce you. But you do realize that you're still wanted for treason, Dolgrim. And if he, still kind of talking with disdain, pointing at Illigith, walks anywhere near the city gates, he'll be shot down immediately.
Well, maybe we should use the back roads.
There are no back roads. None that I'm willing to divulge.
And it is not possible for you to simply escort us.
He ponders. I pull in a favor. I can get you in. But once you're in the city, your safety is out of my hands. Do you understand? Rather, once you get to the palace. Anvar has absolute authority there. If he does not like what you have to say, you will be killed. That is certain.
Ilmater will deal with that. And know this, you have made many friends today, Roderick.
Yeah, and Roderick so kind of looks at you. He says, I still wondering about that. Rest. In the morning we'll go. Get a few of my band together, leave the rest here to guard the pass, and we'll take off in the morning. And if we're going, I at least need to give you the proper equipment. Looking at Soren and Raymond, who has literally been passed out this entire time, as soon as he got in the fire. In fact, he's asleep.
Next to the
dwarven-sized coat. And everything below the knee is just showing.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it.
Yes, on top of that, I have some things to show. And Dolgrim, you'd be glad to have these back. I'm sure you were hating not having them as you were traveling up here. And... Or what's up?
I said I love show and tell.
Yeah, he ignores you. Walks away, comes back with two things. One of them kind of catches your eye, Malvadrian, because you yourself use a crossbow. But this is definitely a dwarven make. A crossbow dwarven make, and it seems to be of a higher grade than your own. And when he loads it, he doesn't say anything, but he picks it up, loads a bolt into it, to the ceiling and fires, and the bolt cracks the stone easily, like it embeds itself farther in to the stone. This is an adamantine coil crossbow. We all have one. It even has a special attachment. And he puts it on. Fires it again. It looks like he puts on this kind of a... It's like a crossbow bolt, but it's attached to a... I guess a coil. Or like a rope. And he fires it. And basically, it's a grappling hook crossbow. Essentially what it is. It says, out there, climbing the mountains, you might want to have this on your side if you take a tumble. Just say that. And also, along with that, he brings out a set of dual pickaxes, dual dwarven picks. It says, these are for scaling the mountain as well. The crossbows are kind of a oh shit button. If you manage to fall off, I'd get these out, help you more easily climb. And I have these for each of you. And of course, coats. I'm not giving one to the half-giant. By the way. And then he
not looking at Roderick, smiling at the many interesting things that he's already been given.
And Roderick brings the equipment. Y'all have that now. That crossbow, it's a +1 adamantine crossbow. And it also has the grappling hook attachment. And the picks can be used as a war pickaxe, but they have the special ability that gives you advantage on checks to climb. All right. And of course, he gives you the coat, which will give you advantage on Constitution saving throws against the cold. And Roderick, as he's gathering these, he gives them all to you, and he says, "Grab a bed, get some rest, and we'll go in the morning." And what's your name, half-giant?
My name is Illios, the Lionheart.
Well, Yidagith. Probably the first time your name has been pronounced correctly. Because, you know, he has that kind of northern accent to him. You said you were a follower of Ilmater.
I am not only a follower, but I am his servant.
Aye, follower, servant, I don't care. If I were you, I would not mention that in any sense, shape, or form when you speak with Anvar. He is a godless dwarf. As are we all. Good night. And he walks away and leaves y'all to y'all's devices.
Well, that was pleasant.
Hmm.
I think Illigus has a new best friend.
It would seem that they are very welcoming here, he says sincerely.
Yes. They seem to be immune to your charms.
At least he asked for your name
Well, who did you that?
at the
That
start.
is true.
Well, I have faith that
Really?
our audience,
Would never have guessed that one.
that our audience and our words will be well received.
I don't know about that. And he kind of looks over to Soren. Do you know the nature of these meetings that the king has been having with Dalton? It seems like what?
It should be noted that actually, never mind. I'll text Ryan that. Continue on with your conversation.
Yes,
Sorry.
right. I basically just said, do you know what the nature of these meetings are with Dalton and the king?
I do not know his mission exactly, but I do know he's been here for a month or so, maybe longer. And to my best assumption, it would be to form an alliance between the two.
If that is the case, then can we truly trust the king?
Longbar is pretty far up there in the ladder, and if he doesn't know that Dalton is here, then I'm sure others do not know either.
I thought you said that he was meeting with the king.
He is meeting with the king. I mean,
How would he not know that Dalton is confused?
Dalton could be in disguise, kept secret by the king. You know, secret meetings of some sort.
Either way, best come up with an escape strategy at the palace. I don't trust this king, especially after what you just told me.
I do not trust him either. I would assume everything he says to us is a lie, but we must talk to him. Find out what we can.
I feel like he looks over at Illios. We're about to get into a lot of trouble in this. What's this place called? Is the country called Marangol, or is the capital called Marangol?
So, the region is called Fahrenheim. The Dwarven state is called Targenstall. The city is called Maringol.
So it's
Y'all-
Targenstall, Wesley. Targenstall.
And y'all are at the entrance of Farkin's Pass.
Yeah, none of that was retained. So
Yeah, so
Targenstall.
there's your Illios geography lesson for the day.
Write it down. You're gonna be quizzed.
domo arigato gozaimasu. Moldy.
Firing squad.
No,
right.
I already took that. So
Dang it, you're right.
yeah, I know. I like how none of them mentioned that they like totally wounded me.
Oh, they did not care. And I will say that if y'all are done discussing, Dolgrim would kind of end it with
That's still like 3 hours of like in character dialogue that I want to discuss with my amigos.
Okay, go for it. Let's hear it.
All right. I do have one question, actual legitimate question for Illios.
Good.
Yeah. After he said, I feel like we're about to get in a whole mess of trouble in this place, he kind of looks at Illigeth. Do you know why they hate you so much? Is there a rift between you and these mountain dwarves?
Let me think. Well, I hadn't really thought about it until now. But my tribe, the Thunukavan, we were the traditionalists of the Goliaths, and we attempted to be self-sustaining, unlike our other kinsmen, who, well, rob and pillage those that live in their locale. Perhaps this could be the reason, but I cannot say, as I have never ventured to Targenstall myself.
Aye, Dolgrim would say, and look up at you, Ilgith, and say, aye, that he was about to say half giants. He says, the Goliaths, they raid our farms occasionally. We can't grow anything on top of the mountain, and so we have outposts at the base where we grow our food. There are certain places where we're able to in cases of emergency, and we have a good stockpile. But they raid frequently. And Broderick's brother was killed in one of those raids. He was stationed there. So on top of the general dislike for you and your people, there's also that.
Say, Soren,
Yes.
do you have any secret magic that could perhaps disguise, alter Illigith's appearance? I don't think that he stays in his current form. We'll be in for a lot of trouble. We're already strangers in strange land, let alone hated enemies.
The best I could really do is make him invisible or turn him into gas.
None of these are
Malvidrid,
preferable.
do not trouble yourself. Trust in Ilmater.
What's a good question?
Even still, I would have denied it. Because I see this. Because I see this as an opportunity. Because if there
Opportunity to
is,
get shot in the back.
if there
repeatedly.
is even a chance that this king tells the truth, perhaps he will come to understand that Not all of the Goliaths are, well, as destructive as he thinks.
Listen, I'm all for a nice diplomatic mission, but now I don't think it's the time to be convincing dwarves, not only dwarves, mountain dwarves, Mike, no offense to all of them, that
None taken.
to change their long-rooted beliefs in who their natural enemies are. We're already trying to do something that can't be done. Let's not make it any more complicated than it needs to be. I appreciate your optimism, but juggling these two things at once, they already think you are our enemy. Their enemy. We're not even... We haven't even talked to anybody yet. You've already been shot twice.
He kind of looks down. What? This is nothing.
Yeah, well, try going into their palace where their king resides and see how many bolts will be nothing. Yes, Wooly. All I'm saying is, I don't know how we're going to do this. And I don't really want to rely on the goodwill and the good heart of a potentially treasonous king.
And then at that silence, Illios kind of gets a little bit closer and puts his hand on your shoulder.
I'm not
No,
going to kiss you.
do not rely on the cold heart of a king. Rely on the warm heart of your Goliath friend and his god Mater.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. Fine, Illios. You die. I'm going to bury you, and that's it.
This already happened once, my friend.
How many lives do you have anyway?
As many as the one who endures gives me. Now, with
That's
that, I
reassuring.
say once more, do not trouble yourself. Let us get some rest.
All right, fine. Delvin, before we head to sleep, does your king, or has there been any wisp from, how long has Dolbrum, I'm asking this in person, Dolbrum, how long has it been since you've been amongst your kinsmen?
I left when Commander Klein came the first time asking for aid. I was the only one to join.
And how long ago was that? Months? Years?
A year.
And this king has been in power for how long?
We dwarves have a long time, Mal. He's been in power for 300 years.
Okay. I didn't know if he had, I had the impression that he just came into power because of the comment that he said that you were the first king, or the first outsider since the king took over, but I see that that's even an even bigger statement. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense then. Why? You'd have no reason to betray the kingdom or anything. Like he's a new ruler. He's long standing tradition. None of this makes sense. Soren, you should have told us this before we walked into potentially enemy territory.
I am in agreement.
Sorry, what? Told you what? Sorry. About
That Dalton was having meetings with the king.
that's my bad. I thought y'all knew, and that's why you were in such a hurry to get here.
In the future, no more secrets.
Not a secret, but a mistake. One I do apologize for. I assumed when I shouldn't have.
Well, this mission just got a whole lot harder.
Seeing this look on Mal's face, do you have some sort of history with Dalton?
He kind of meets him with a very cold gaze. I have all the history with Dalton. He's the reason my people. He's the reason why we lost the war.
I heard about that, but I did not know you were involved. You have my condolences for what my people have done.
I appreciate that. But Dalton was like a brother to me. He was my superior officer. He was my friend. Spent years together. And the final battle, well, the only battle that mattered, he betrayed us. No real reason. It makes me think about this king. There's no real reason for him to betray his kingdom. There was no real reason for Dalton to betray us either. The Celestials, they find a way to make you do what you're not. You must be on the highest regard that we can be. Great words there. Yep. Anyway. End of sentence.
Yeah, and as Mal kind of describes Dalton and their relationship, even Illigith is kind of looking down at his feet.
We in this room are perhaps the only people who know about these meetings, correct?
What's that? The dogs are barking.
I was saying that we were probably the only ones that know about these meetings. Is there some type of, like, he looks over to Dalbrum, some type of, I don't know, information, like black market network of informants? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think of what's going on here. Logan.
Sorry.
You're too much, man.
I'm not even a dwarf.
Oh
man.
No. Anyway, never mind. I'm not going to ask that question. We'll figure it out as more information comes to us. All I'm saying is, we got to be on high alert on this one. Be ready to be betrayed. Not by each other. Not in this room.
Yeah, look at this. Like,
Dolgrim looks down at Raymond.
Yeah.
Nah, couldn't be.
No, it could.
Oh man!
That would be the best plot twist of all time.
Surprise!
So I've not been entirely truthful with you. Boom, motherfucker! You're an ash pile now.
He's been
Celestial.
Dalton the entire
Holy
time.
crap,
If you
that's
did that, I
freaking
would quit the game.
hilarious. I would, yeah, we would
the
just
game.
quit. We'd just quit. X.
Oh my gosh!
They've
Please
never
do that.
been on screen together.
That was great. That was
You
great.
son of a bitch! Don't know.
Except,
Shh. All right. So that was awesome, and I wanted everyone to take a point of inspiration. We are going to take a 5-minute bathroom break because I need to go to the bathroom, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Anyone here?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hello.
Hey.
These dogs are all bark.
Okay. So is everyone back? That was a good 10-minute break, I guess.
In light of Wesley's "I'm Batman" comment, I have my Batman signature mug here. So, cheers,
Cheers to
my
that.
friends.
Alright, well, I am good to go when y'all are.
I'm good.
Yep, I gave y'all the special equipment. Alright. So, Ryan, are you there?
I think he said something about the dogs barking and then muted.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm gonna let them inside. They should stop barking.
Alright.
So, do we rest?
Yeah.
Okay, because I need to get my spells back.
Soren wants to keep watch. He doesn't trust the dwarves.
Okay.
Hours anyway.
Y'all can't hear my brother, right?
No.
Okay, good. Love this headset. Okay.
What's the sleeping arrangement?
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, no doubt. I put three beds together.
Yeah, so I mean, Mal, you're too long for one of their beds as well, and Illios, it's just yeah. So yeah, y'all are pretty much told to, if there's an empty bed, get and sleep in it without too much care, really, if y'all could even fit on the bed. But you said you wanted to keep watch, Soren?
Just, I don't keep watch, but I do my best to sleep lightly.
Gotcha.
These dwarves did not seem happy that we were here.
Alright, so nothing happens. Alright.
Get my hit points back. I'm right back at max.
Yeah.
Cool.
And when... Oh, I meant to make y'all roll again. Oh, well, I forgot. Anyway.
Oh.
When we... Yep, now morning. You all get up. Roderick is kind of rounding together a force. He has about 30 good dwarves here. and he's taking 10 of them with him as kind of like an escort. And he's getting dressed, getting everything together. And he says,
Go ahead.
Unluckily for all of us, it seems the blizzard continued into the morning. So we'll still have to deal with that.
When he comes in to say this or something, if there was another room or some place else for Illigot to go, he would like to go there for a few minutes.
Yeah, go for it.
Wherever as he could be alone.
Oh, he wants to be alone, does he?
Yeah, you could. I mean, yeah, you could easily find an empty room or corner for you to be alone in.
Cool.
Do what you need to do. Bazinga. All right, so move forward. All right, so you follow me. I'll keep some dwarves around all of us. Set up an alright perimeter. And to be clear, Falcon's Pass isn't exactly the most safe pass in the world. Just want to tell you that before we go on. There's a reason I gave you the special gear. Many a dwarf have fallen to their deaths. But keeps outsiders out even if they get through. Good thing you have me leading you. All right, boys, let's go. Unless y'all have any questions for him.
No, Illiot finishes what he was doing and is present as they leave. And when Roderick says this, he kind of looks at Raymond. Raymond, remember to stay close.
Oh, believe me, I'm not going very far from you at all times.
Good. Now step in line.
Yes, sir. And he steps into line. Same marching order for y'all. Essentially, Roderick will be with Dolgrim at the front, and y'all will have dwarves dispersed throughout the line.
Sure.
All right. So you know. So you all go down into the pass. The road you were on before opens up into a narrow path, only 10 feet wide. On one side, the stone frame of the gray spines, and on the other, looms a cliff face, descending to the world far below. The bottom is not visible if you looked over the edge, and it's blocked by a frozen maelstrom below. A continuous storm that never stops. Farkin, you see in the Dwarven tongue, is storm. Storms pass. Needless to say, no one has survived a fall from here. So, as Roderick kind of looks back at all of y'all taking all this in, I suggest you stay close. And keep on your toes. Don't want anyone dying out here. Aye, be careful. Follow our every lead.
And there will be no loss of life if I can help it.
Roderick chuckles, turns around, and Dolgrim kind of comes up to y'all and says, He might be a jackass, but he'll get us through here safely. I give my word on that.
I care not for his demeanor. He is a good friend for what he is doing.
I'm glad you can see that. And, yeah. Y'all continue on into the blizzard. The wind is buffeting y'all. Oh, sorry, just laughing at something in the chat. And I'll continue forward. The wind buffeting y'all. The storm that was raging the previous day continuing on. And as we continue, I, of course, would love Constitution saving throws from all of you. You have advantage because you now have the special coats. Illigith, you already had advantage.
Oh, do I need to roll then? Oh, I don't have the coat. Sorry. I'm just like, what?
The DC is the same as last time. It's 15.
Take heart, my friends. Not even going to roll again.
It's a shame if I rolled an 11 again.
Hey. Ryan.
Is that with Logan's +3?
Yep. I rolled
With it.
yeah.
Let's...
Well, by the way, mine what I rolled wasn't even with Logan's +3.
Ah!
So, yeah.
I have a +1 con. It's a
Hey,
15.
Moldy, can you take some of my excess?
It's a 15.
I have a +1 con. I'm alive, boys.
What?
I rolled a 10 last time.
Oh.
11 this time. I forgot I had a con mod of 1.
But what of Raymond?
All right. Raymond actually seems to be fine.
Wow.
He has a coat of his own. He's still struggling to move through the deep snow, but he does not appear to be suffering as much as he was yesterday.
One has to wonder, like, how many times a day is going through his head, you know, why did I come with these guys again?
Oh, that's right. It's because I'm a double agent sent to destroy them from the inside.
That seems the most logical conclusion.
It's the only reason.
The greatest plot twist of all time. All right. So y'all continue forward. Everyone seems to be fine in the blizzard.
It's the new coats.
And y'all are able to keep y'all's footing for a time. This pass is pretty narrow. It's 10 feet, but you'd like it to be longer if you could be like 15 or good 20 feet. You feel like if you're just off your game for a little bit, you could slip and fall. So be careful.
Do not worry. Your mother will catch you.
Yep. And this point, you've all been traveling for 2 hours now through this pass. You've been following Roderick and Dolgrim's lead, and so far they have gotten you safely through. And you can hear Roderick's voice from the front. Thankfully, this isn't a very long pass. We only have about an hour's journey left, which is very treacherous. So, bear that in mind. Still, keep on your guard and be ready for anything that might happen. Right.
Because I can,
Mm-hmm.
we do the same thing that I did before and cast aid on the same allies.
All right. Yep, and Roderick again. Keep your crossbows and picks ready. He's been reminding y'all frequently. As y'all are idiots, y'all probably get to the point where like, yes, I know, Dad. Yeah. And so I would like to someone to roll perception checks. That being Mal and Soren.
Yeah, not me.
Are you gonna?
It's,
Oh,
it's
is it?
in the chat. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
is it 15? Okay. I just saw Ryan's and I saw you go like raise your fist, and so I was waiting for like a 20 something,
Eh,
and so nothing came up, and so I was like, is he gonna give it to me? But all right. So it completely surprises you when out of nowhere the sound of the buffeting wind is somewhat broken by the onslaught of a huge boulder that comes crashing down onto the pass. And I would like dexterity saving throws from everyone.
all right. This is why I took Shield Master. Eh. Shield Master not coming in handy today. Eh. Crap.
All right. I guess I should roll for some other people here.
Did you say boulder?
Oh my good.
Oh, my gentle boulder.
All right. So
Just for once, I want like roll a dexterity saving throw. Oh no, you failed. Oh, it falls right beside you just by sheer coincidence. Like, you know,
I don't think that's how that works.
is that not how that works? Okay.
No. But all right. So Mal, Soren, it's like you have a second sense of this. You're able to easily jump forward to avoid the boulder. Malvadrian, you barely do so as it smashes into the pass. And you get a sense to how big this thing is. This boulder must have been at least 20 foot wide. As it crashes into the pass, smashing it to pieces. And snow is thrown up, blocking each of your vision. Illigith, you, Raymond, and about 4 other dwarves that were behind you get blown back onto the other side of the pass of this now 20-foot gap that exists in the pass and on unsteady feet. And to those who passed will take no damage. To those who failed, will take 21 bludgeoning damage.
I'm gonna go ahead and shrug that one off too.
Hey, Molly, so
12.
I know it might be a bit hard with like the sound of the wind and all, but before the boulder fell, was there any sound of like rock crackling, like rock giving, like it losing like under its own weight cracking? Any sounds like that at all?
There were none.
So immediately in Malvadrian's mind, if he heard no sound of like an avalanche, he would begin to think sabotage, and he's going to bring out not the crossbow that was given to him by the dwarves, but his crossbow, and look to kind of where the direction of like where the boulder came from, and see if he can see anything.
So you look up, unfortunately, in the blizzard.
You don't see shit.
Unfortunately, in the blizzard, you only have about 20 feet of visibility in front of you. You can't see anything up, but you look behind you, and you see the pass crumbled. You see a 25-foot gap between you, Soren, and Illigith, along with other dwarves. Dolgrim and Roderick were both burdened by this impact, and they took that damage, and so they're on the ground wary and still trying to shake everything off. Illigith, Raymond is knocked unconscious beside you, as are two of the dwarves. Two of them are still standing, and you all can barely make each other out across the way. But you all hear the sound. The sound of this enormous boulder wrenching itself back on to the pass as one gigantic arm can be seen as it pulls itself up over the edge. Mal, Soren, you see what looks like an earthen humanoid. This huge earthen humanoid, at least 20 feet tall, with two hot coals for eyes, glowing a deep crimson amidst the blizzard. And it is looming over all of you, blocking your vision of the other side of the pass. Illigith, as you get up, kind of dazed from the impact, and you stand to your feet, you see 10 feet away from you, you could have sworn he wasn't there before. A stout, short figure covered in a large gray fur coat, and his visage cuts through the white of the blizzard. Behind the hood of his coat, a metallic mask hides his face, but two deep red eyes are visible. And as Mal and Soren and Dolgrim and all the other dwarves prepare to fight this behemoth of a rock creature, you hear the words of this figure cut through the blizzard, Illigith. Let us see if the son of the one who endures is strong after all. Roll initiative. All right, how about you, Soren? 10. All right. So, Brian, what's your dex mod?
16.
All right. I don't even know why I asked that. All right.
That's okay.
All right, is that everyone? I'm pretty sure that's everyone. All right, and I'm going to send a picture to you, Logan, of what this mask looks like, okay?
I just need a picture of the battlefield or something.
A picture of the battlefield?
'Cause I'm not really sure where I am.
Yeah, I also don't really know like where I am in relation to like the rock monster. I was kind of confused, so if you could, that'd be great.
So, imagine a mountain pass via Lord of the Rings style.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, that's what you've all been on. The earth elemental crashed into the pass, leaving a 20-foot gap. On the right, it has climbed over the side to face Soren, Mal, Roderick, Dolgrim, and 4 other dwarves. And on the left side, Illigith, you stand over an unconscious Raymond, 2 unconscious dwarves, 2 dwarfs that are conscious, and this mysterious masked figure who has called you son of the one who endures. The blizzard is still raging. Malisoran, you do not have visual of Illigith, of the other side of this gap in the pass. Does that help?
Yeah. And Homeboy is like actually on level playing field, like he's not above us or anything.
Nope. He is on the pass with both of you.
Bizarre.
Right. And so, it's his turn. He walks forward slowly, surely, and pulls something from his back. And in both hands, in one hand, he wields a large battle axe, seeming to be made of a strange jet black metallic material. In the other, he pulls out a shield made of the same material. And walking forward, almost leisurely, 2 dwarves that are there try to go and intercept this guy. And as they move towards him, in an instant, both of them are cut down easily. They put up no fight. And as the axe passes through their bodies easily, as if he's cutting through butter, their bodies wither to dust and are carried by the wind. And he makes it to you, Illigith.
What? He's walking.
I didn't finish my statement. He makes it up to you, Illigith, looking down at Raymond, who is unconscious at your feet. And he says, I feel like it would be better if we were alone. Don't you, son of Ilmater? And that's his turn.
How far away are the 2 unconscious dwarves?
The 2 unconscious dwarfs, one is directly behind you, one is to your right.
Screw you and walking up on me like that.
And it looks like it looks as if this figure is preparing to attack Raymond.
Oh, you don't say.
Oh,
Yeah. So, of course, threatening the only member of their troop that cannot defend himself, Illigith is made in an instant livid by a force that is not entirely of his own. So, as you know, Illigith was kind of in and out for a minute as this boulder smashes and this figure cuts down these dwarves walking towards him as the battlefield, as his ears kind of ring and he stands and struggles. But as this figure says these things and approaches both him and Raymond, this divine impotence just washes over him, and it's as if he does this instinctively. Illigith removing his shield and almost in slow motion planting it in the ground, inches away from Raymond's feet, shielding in his direction. And as it impacts the ground, a golden light explodes, and the roar of a lion can be heard echoing throughout the mountain. As I activate my Roar of Heroes ability and plant my shield in the ground. If there were any other allies within 30 feet of me, they are now affected by the Bless spell. And they may spend 3 hit dice immediately. So I don't know if that applies to anybody but me, but that's what happens.
All right.
I do not have my shield equipped, and I spring towards the masked man.
That was very cool, by the way.
Good, because it was only a bonus action, so tell me what your AC is.
You'll find out.
All right. Okay, so that to hit was is unusual for me. Plus, so that's a 17 to hit.
The 17 barely misses.
All right. I rolled twice.
All right. And as you go up to attempt to hit this figure with your divine fury, he doesn't easily. He with force, you push him back, and you can see he's holding up his shield in his left arm, barely blocking.
Doesn't. I'm blessed, Mother Trucker.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot.
That's a 21 as I unleash a 3rd level smite. Okay.
Yep, and so if of course, describe your tech if you'd like. I see it as that going through though. You punch his shield, and the bless pushes through along with the smite, and just smashes him, breaking through his defenses.
That's 23 plus my strength 6. 29. I'm sorry. Plus 4. 27. Okay.
27 damage at all. Is that with both attacks?
That's with one attack. The first one missed.
One attack. All right. All right.
I don't care if he swings his shield in front or if I am able to land a blow outside of his shield. Divine Wrath strikes whatever it hits.
Yeah, so essentially he brought up his shield, but the strength of your blow basically forces the shield back into his body, and he can't absorb the hit, and you smash him, and he flies back. Or doesn't fly back, but he gets pushed back a good 5 feet, and he looks up at you and says, "Good, good. This is what I wanted." Soren.
Yes.
It's your turn.
What do I got in front of me? Earth Elemental, right?
Yep, you got an Earth Elemental, a good 25 foot tall, in front of you.
Nah, barely shorter than Illios.
Yeah. Yeah, just to give y'all some perspective, even though I'm sure y'all can picture it pretty well. That's a size comparison. that I made.
Half height. Nice.
Yes, and I have an idea.
You selected the wrong gender for me.
It's your turn, Soren.
How close am I to this thing?
10 feet.
Oh, jeez. I will definitely back up. As much as I can with it still in my vision. Like, I don't want to lose sight of it.
Yeah, so technically you have 20-foot visibility, but this thing is so large you can make out its outline.
Alright. I am going to reach for my bow. And then fire. That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Hits.
Right. And then I'm going to sharpshooter the second shot, because I forgot to say on the first one. That's going to be a 18.
Hits. This thing's AC is 18.
Very nice. Cool. Alright, so the first one does 19 damage
Alright.
with my sneak attack. And then the second shot is 22 with the sharpshooter.
Alright, gotcha.
And can I see any of my allies?
You can see... yes, you can see Malvadrian.
I should be right beside you.
Yeah, so Malvadrian was basically right beside you.
How far?
How far did you back up? Basically that far.
Okay.
However far you backed up. You can see there are dwarves around you. 4, I believe, not including Dolgrim and Roderick, who didn't really avoid the boulder. They got hit, they have damage, but they're still conscious, and they're kind of shaking it off.
Gotcha. I'm going to say I backed up about 20 feet or so. So I'm
Gotcha.
20 feet from this thing, 20 feet from now. I want to use my rogue ability as a bonus action to help. Like help action him.
Alright, gotcha. So I'm rip. I just realized I didn't put Mal in the initiative. Mal, you go before the Earth Elemental.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So when do the dwarves go?
The dwarves go after the Earth Elemental.
Yeah, okay. I just saw that. It was a dumb question. Okay. So just kind of giving it like bringing it full circle. So Malvadrian had like his so did the Earth Elemental, was that the actual rock boulder thing, or did like it come up afterwards and was like hand over where it came from and like appeared from where it came from?
It appeared from where it came from.
Okay.
Like a hand reached over and pulled itself onto the pass.
Gotcha. So he would have been aiming at that location to begin with? Like where it came from?
And yeah, sure.
Okay, I mean, yeah, okay. So basically, his eyes are going to light up this golden white, this kind of radiant white color. And he's going to Minty's mark it to the hunter's mark. And he's going to fire 3 crossbows bolts at it. And is it within like melee range, or is it like on top of the pass? I kind of missed that part.
So it has climbed up on top of the pass. It's definitely within melee range if you would like to do that.
And the dwarves around me, they're equipped with crossbows, or are they equipped with like warhammers, or what's
Yeah,
going on
so
there?
they're equipped with crossbows, warhammers, and those picks.
Okay. I feel like it's kind of weird to like command somebody who's not in your own unit. You know, like it made sense with like the other guys, but I don't think it makes much sense here. So I'm just gonna attack 3 times with my crossbow.
I would say, not to just kind of interject, in an instance like this, even the most trained soldier is going to be like scatterbrained.
Pretty
So
much.
I'm just saying, your commanding voice would definitely help. So
We shall see. So basically, Molly, yeah, I'm still gonna fire 3 times at it. So regardless of what I do, I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I got 2 22s and a 16.
Yeah, so its AC is 18.
Okay. They're all so many dice. It's ridiculous. Okay, so totaling up the damage. So that's 32 damage, those 2 shots. And so basically kind of how I see it as it kind of like is coming over it. He's basically running towards it and kind of gathering light into his left palm where the Minty's mark is, and is coalescing that light blade. But as he's kind of running towards it, he's just kind of shooting at it. And I know this isn't like super like legitimate, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But in my head, on my pre-turn, I kind of like imagined like him like jumping up on like the crossbow bolts, but that makes like no sense. But that was just kind of what was going through my head. And just kind of getting ready to, like, I guess, swipe at its legs or something. So, yeah, that's all I got for this turn, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. And just to ask, did you want to attempt to command the dwarves?
Not really. I don't really have anything inspirational to say except attack. So I don't have any. Nothing's coming to me. So.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
sorry
ask.
about that.
No,
Molly,
you're fine. Yeah, what's up?
I aided him with my ability, so he gets that extra damage.
Yeah, the extra D6.
Oh,
Is it 1d6 or is it each attack?
I
plus
don't
3.
remember.
Okay,
That works for me.
that's my turn. I'm basically getting up on it, and I'm in melee range of it.
All right. Jew being in melee range. This behemoth looks down at you. This is like at this puny obstacle in front of it. It takes its right
Don't be
arm,
mean, man.
raising slowly. Its fist basically turns into this gigantic cudgel, and it swings at you, Malvadra, in kind of a side swipe to kind of smash you into the side of the mountain. I am assuming a 24 will hit you.
So actually, with Minty's mark, I have a nice 30 AC. So you know,
Oh?
yeah.
All right.
My AC with the golem specifically is 20. For everything else, it's 18.
All right, gotcha. So, oh, hello. So, Mal, with that hit,
Oh, wait a second. Nope, I'm gonna shield that motherfucker. 25 AC. You
all
attack
right,
again?
so there you go. Yeah, so
My shield.
the force of this thing, it's literally like a mountain is hitting you right now. And you manage to block it. You block it with your shield and you avoid any damage, but the force of this thing just pushes you against your will to the side of the mountain, and basically with the shield still up, it's going to pull up its arm again and try and smash down on you once more. This time getting a 26. Or excuse me, a 28.
Okay.
Yeah. But this time it will do less damage than it was going to do last time. We'll do 22 bludgeoning damage to you. From that hit as it smashes you against the wall. And as it does so, you hear an audible rumble from the mountain at the force of this impact. Nothing is coming yet, but the mountain is rumbling. So now it is the dwarves' turn. Right, and Roderick and Dolgrim immediately coming to their senses, try the dwarves around them. Hey, crossbows! Shoot at it! Use the grappling arrow! And they all shoot. Next dwarf, 1 hits its mark, another hits its mark, 3 hits its mark, 1 bounces off harmlessly, and 1 more shot connects. All right. Yeah, so with these adamantine crossbow bolts, is basically piercing this thing, and it will deal a good amount of damage to it. Right, and the dwarves are basically getting in formation, and Dolgrim says, "Support Malvadrian!" And they come up from behind you, Malvadrian, kind of in a V formation, kind of beyond you with their crossbows up. And some of the dwarves, 2 of them, it actually shot the grappling hook, and they pull it back, and those dwarves get basically the crossbow pulls them to the creature, and they are now on top of it and are getting out their warhammers. Dwarves are foolhardy bastards. All right. Now it's the masked figure's turn. So he just gets smashed. You want to say something, Logan?
Yep.
Oh, actually, sorry, unmuted. All right. So he just gets smashed by divine fury. And he slides back on his feet, but he withstands it. And again, he has said, "Good, good. If you had not done at least that much, then I would have been disappointed, son of Ilmater."
How tall is he?
He is 5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so, with this axe, it begins to steam in the air. And around it, it is emblazoned with this glowing purple energy as he smites you, Illigith.
With the power of what? Godless oath?
It's the power of what? That's right. All right. First attack, 22. Second attack, 20.
Doesn't matter. My AC is like 0 right now. So.
Oh, yeah. Your shield is in front of Raymond, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Let's see. There it is. All right.
I'm full health, by the way.
Gotcha.
Can you separate it out?
Crap.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, a little bit more mental math.
sorry.
No, you're fine. So you take 21 normal damage, as in slashing damage. You take 3 necrotic,
Okay.
and you take another 20 smite.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, it's like as his axe just slides across you, maybe embedding itself in your arm.
I know it's kind of hard to imagine like me unarmed like
Yeah.
I mean I mean maybe not embed into my arm without it chopping it off, but I see it as, you know, me using fighting tactics and him getting a slice in kind of thing.
Exactly.
You know, like on my main body kind of thing. And yeah, you know, there are some arms in there and things like that, but I mean I don't want you to like envision like there's an axe literally like in my arm.
Yeah. And so
Adamantium.
when this axe hits for the first time, you feel what all of your enemies have felt up to this point. You feel the power of an opposing god course through you and basically try and tear you apart from the inside out. Do you withstand the blows?
I mean, so sorry to get a little bit artsy here, but
Yeah, no.
you know, you describe it as like this first moment, you know, with this full on, you know, enemy opposing smite. Illigith's massive form kind of stands against it. But as the axe hits and slashes, it's almost as if this ethereal being is pulled out of him and shoved back in, if only for a moment.
Yes. Yes, you truly do have the blessing. Show me what your faith gets you. It's his turn. Or, sorry. Yeah, it's his turn again. He's going again. Right, and he stands there kind of circling you with his shield up, axe propped up to the side, kind of circling around you.
How about I bless your face with my fist? As I go to strike again, this time, since I now have a bonus action free, my fists glow with radiant fire! Hammer time, baby! All right. Come on, boy. Come on. That's and bless. 18.
Just hits him.
Oh, next hit. Frick! Inspiration. I got enough of them. And a 19.
There you go.
My fists. Let's see what we got. Okay, that's going to be... have it pulled up. 2d6. So we're going to do the radiant damage first. That's 11. And the second hit is 5. So 16 radiant damage. 2 hits at 9 points of physical damage. And that's it. Plus 4 plus 4 plus 8. So 9 plus 8, 17. So 17 plus 16 radiant.
All right, and so once again, your Your blow smashes into him, and he manages to block the second, kind of get his shield up to where your fist kind of deflects against the shield, and then he looks at you, and then he looks back at your shield on the ground,
Huh.
and he says,
Puny mortal. Sorry, that's what I say to him.
I suppose we should make this an even fight. And he throws his shield away, gripping the axe with both hands. And again, the axe is steaming,
Um,
and his red eyes bore into you. Yes.
Illios has not said a word, and this entire time has been this solid face of rage and divine fury, and his teeth gritting against one another. It's just totally not Illios.
All right. And it should be noted that now that it is Soren's turn, I forgot to note it last turn, but you definitely heard the sound of the lion's roar echoing throughout the canyon, and you can hear these kind of cataclysmic blows on the other side of the chasm. You can't see Illigoth, but something's going on over there.
How far is the other side of the chasm?
So you were 10 feet away, you backed up 30.
I backed up 20.
20, sorry. Yeah, you're 10 feet away, you backed up 20. So at this point, you are 50 feet away from the other end of the chasm.
So hearing this, knowing that Illigoth, not seeing him fight like this, but knowing he is the Lionheart, he kind of puts two and two together to make four. This can't be good for Illigoth. And I'm going to dash as a bonus action. No, I'm going to dash as an action, so I still have my bonus action. That's 60 feet of move speed over there towards Illigoth. See if I can find him.
Right, so if you would like, so first things first, you'd have to get past the earth elemental. And so you got to deal with that. And the second thing is you got to get over the 20-foot chasm. So I will definitely be rolling an opportunity attack against you. And you're still doing this? Just making sure.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll use my crossbow. I have a crossbow, right?
Yeah, you do.
Let's make sure. Yeah, I'll use my crossbow to shoot across and swing or whatever.
All right. So, opportunity attack. What is your AC?
16.
Oh, yeah, he definitely hits that. All right. You are going to take 24 points of bludgeoning damage from this thing as it swats down at you. And I feel like you're kind of smashed against the side of the mountain, but you still have the crossbow trained on the other side of the chasm, correct?
Yeah. Setting.
All right, so you shoot.
Do I need to roll or anything?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
So just like a normal crossbow?
Yeah, just an AC 10.
That's going to be like a 26.
Yeah, you're fine.
I have a plus 10 modifier.
Alright, so yeah, you hit it. And the adamantine crossbow bolt easily catches into the other side of the chasm and lodges itself there, and you're able to pull yourself over to the other side. and your turn ends as you are kind of climbing up. And basically you see Illigith is filled with this divine rage and fury, towering over this short, stout figure who is gripping this axe, and they're both glowing with godly power.
Do I have my bonus action still?
Yes. Yeah, you used your action and whatnot to dash, right?
Yeah, use my action to dash.
Yeah, you still have bonus.
As my bonus action, I'm gonna use the help action on Illigith. Looking at this guy he's fighting against. I don't know what to say.
Well, figure it out and say it on my turn or something, or
Okay.
before he goes.
Yeah, that works.
Alright. So that gives you advantage on your first attack and plus d6 damage. So crit.
All right, Malvader, and you've seen Soren Dat kind of dash past you and get to the other side of the chasm.
Yeah. So
and the mountain still rumbles,
yeah.
especially with the other impact. I apologize.
Oh, it's fine. I basically saw that last the big rock elemental or golem's like last attack is while I make this like white ephemeral shield in front of me, just the force of the impact kind of coming in and just kind of pressing me into like the rock wall that's like right there, and then like falling to a knee, and as that next kind of like attack comes down to kind of basically like kind of finish him off, because instead of seeing like anyway, here come like the grappling hooked dwarves like hammering and smashing away, distracting it with just enough time for him to kind of move out of the way. And as he sees them kind of fight ferociously this creature who is at least 5 times their size, and he watches them using these grappling crossbows, this wicked smile comes across Malvadrian's face, and he looks down at the what is it called, adamantine coil crossbow, and he grabs it and he says, "You dwarves are crazy, but not as crazy as me." And he kind of shoots the crossbow, the little grappling hook, at the golem's upper region's face. And as he's kind of, once he makes purchase and kind of like grapples along, that light blade coalesces into his hand as he prepares to strike at it. So I rolled a. What do you want me to roll for the grappling action with like the grappling hook action thing? Like I don't know what.
Just an attack roll.
Okay, that's a 29 for the grappling, and then a 19 and a 24 for the lightning blade hits. Light blade hits.
Yeah,
crossbow expert for the win!
Yeah, I know, right? You hit with all of them.
Freaking I love crossbow expert, man.
You hit with all of them. Of course, it's a hand crossbow.
Yeah.
And it's a +1 hand crossbow.
Yeah. I think it's the same as mine.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Because Gnocchi hooked me up. So
never forget.
Never forget. But yeah. So yeah, Malvadrian is literally flying in the air and just swipes at it twice. So the first attack the light blade does 32 points of damage with that, and then the second one going really good. So the first one was 32, the second one was 34, and then the actual crossbow does a whopping 10 damage. So 32, 34, and 10. So that's a lot. 32, 34, 60, 66, 76.
I already subtracted it.
Okay, 76 points of damage, yeah. As he just kind of Phew! That was fun. Thank you for using the grappling hooks with the dwarves, because that was like grappling hook crossbow. Yes.
Yeah, right. And so you.
He's cackling maniacally, by the way, as he's flying through the air at top speed. He's a crazy person right now.
Yeah, you just completely demolish this thing's upper light chest area. You're hitting the head or the chest?
So I grappled onto its head.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm just kind of on the way up, just tried to do as much damage as possible. And I guess I'm like swinging around it and like swung around to the other side. I don't really know like how the acrobatics Attack on Titan type of like moving around is going to work. But basically I just wanted to hit it in the face and grapple onto it and attack it. And I don't really know how we want to do this.
No, you're fine. All right, so you basically you do that massive amount of damage, and it just chips away, or more than chips away, just completely demolishes the rock wherever it hits. And basically what you find underneath is a purple glow, a familiar purple glow, and you can see that inside this thing whirs an anacalcum crystal powering this thing.
Could you remind me again what the purple anacalcum symbolized? Was that the one made of souls, or is that all of them were made from souls? I can't remember exactly the implication of purple anacalcum.
Yeah, so you're still not entirely completely for sure certain if all anacalcum are made from souls, but the purple is like the regular anacalcum.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, by the way, Molly, I accidentally added Hunter's Mark and Colossus Slayer twice instead of just doing it once. So go ahead and take off 12 points of damage from the last total. So I think it'd be 62 instead of 74.
I will do that.
Yeah, that was my bad. I accidentally doubled up on that.
Oh no, you're fine.
But yeah, so gotcha. So as this is kind of revealed, and I don't really know what he's doing in the air. I think it's like land on it if he could. No, never mind. That's a horrible idea. That's an awful idea. It's 25 feet in the air. But as he's kind of like revealed that has a purple anacalcum core, he screams to the dwarves who are attacking, "Aim for the core! The core! Aim for the core!"
And
there you go, Logan. There's your inspirational hoorah.
Please give me a charisma check. I'm just kidding.
I will. Charisma's my bitch. 19.
You are a very inspiring commander.
Thank you.
All right. So, basically, as you're saying this, go for the core! This thing's hand reaches out to grab you. Please make an athletics or acrobatics check to oppose.
I'm definitely going to pick athletics to oppose this rock golem. You know?
I hope you do.
Oh, man.
Don't you get a bonus to climb if you pull out the picks? Sorry.
That's hilarious. You see how many hands do you think he has?
you get a bonus to climb. You do not get a bonus to ride.
Oh, heck yeah, bro. Heck yeah. I rolled a 17 on the die. Let me find my modifier, which should be insane. Dang it. I'm not proficient with acrobatics, but it's fine. That's 22.
That's a 20.
22.
Bitch.
He rolled a nat 20 on his athletics.
What did he do? I don't
He's
see
opposing athletics.
Let me see.
I rolled a nat 20.
He says.
He already. I want to see it again to make sure it's real.
I also rolled. I'm gonna use an inspiration to see if I also roll a natural 20. That's the worst use of an inspiration. Do you think I should do it, guys? You think I should do it? Why not?
I don't think you can be. I'm sorry, the crit doesn't.
I'm gonna do it.
Your bonus has to be bigger than his bonus, fool.
No! I rolled an 8.
Oh my god,
So
I didn't do it.
So this
hilarious.
creature
that's funny.
easily grabs you out of the air
So that's why they don't do that.
Rather
Okay, I see.
squats.
Yeah.
with a 32
Oh my sweet.
Holy
athletics check and grabs you and just begins to crush you.
The core! Aim for the core!
Math.
I just see it as like a.
Or the dwarf miners when you need them.
Malvadrian, you're going to take 40 points of bludgeoning damage
I'm dead.
from this thing
Fantastic.
crushing you.
No, I'm kidding. I don't die just yet. Say 40?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Excessive, but okay.
it lobs its arm back
And
Throw him like a softball.
and throws Malvadrian.
Holy
can I
crap.
use absorb elements to like, I don't know.
Absorb the cold of the impact?
I don't know, man.
That's unique.
Throws Malvadrian down onto the down onto the ground.
I'm gonna hellish rebuke this because this is nonsense.
Hellish rebuke.
So to get this straight, you grabbed me, crushed me, and then threw me.
Yep.
And then how far did he throw me?
He oh, he probably threw you a good, let's see, how strong is this thing?
Don't do it, man.
I'm sorry, Wesley. I just see you like flying around this thing, like having a good old time, and then all of a sudden it just like connects unnaturally like a fly swatter.
Like a natural 20.
Whack! Whew! Mal just like. Whew.
Do you guys remember El Dorado? When the shaman like reincarnates or like activates that the jaguar from stone,
Yeah.
and then it's terrorizing the town,
Yeah.
and its paw comes down on this poor villager, and he's like, "Oh, I'm okay." Like it hits like right now next to him. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm okay," and then it comes out and hits it again and like squashes him, and then it's like, "I'm still okay." That's kind of what I imagine going on with Mel right now.
It's like, no, you're not.
I'm
Alright,
still
so-
okay.
Yeah, so this thing throws you at like Mach 3,
So I go Super Saiyan on the way over.
and you smash into the side of the mountain, basically falling down. And what I'd like is, I'd like you to please make an acrobatics check to see if you can pull out the crossbow and attach yourself to the face of the mountain so you don't fall into the maelstrom below.
Does this count as my reaction so I can't hellish rebuke?
Yes.
Damn it.
You could hellish
forego?
rebuke it if you want. I don't care.
So Molly, what I was gonna do until this was like as I'm getting thrown, I was gonna like hellish rebuke, like a little fire, like minty beam, hellish rebuke type of a thing as he's like midair.
Uh-huh.
And that was like in my head, the visual that was going on. But it was hilarious. Dang it. Okay, I rolled a 19. Never mind, that's a 13. That's not a 19. Plus 4, so 17.
Yeah, so, and also, by the way, from the impact of you smashing, really?
Mm.
Are you?
Don't you?
No,
dare me.
no, that's bullshit.
I don't have time. To
What the?
kick
You can't
out.
re-roll?
I'm not I didn't re-roll, I just rolled the rest of the damage. This thing
Everyone,
is throwing...
please watch this.
Right. So, you somehow... This is bullshit. You somehow only take 18 bludgeoning damage from this.
I'm sorry, I'm too busy watching.
Yeah, bludgeoning damage, Molly. I mean, jeez.
I want to kill him. Alright, so...
Roll better.
You with that basically you shoot the crossbow after the impact, after you're kind of sliding off. It lodges into the side of the mountain, and basically, Malvadrian, you're dangling right now off the side of the cliff.
I'm okay.
And that's where your turn, or that's where the Earth Elemental's turn will end.
I said the same one. This is bullshit.
This is fantastic, is what it is.
Can I hellish rebuke from this? No, fine. I'm gonna. No, doesn't make
And
sense.
just. Oh, and I just remembered.
No, he didn't. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I remembered.
No, you didn't. You said you ended your turn.
You already re-rolled. You metagaming.
Let's see.
fuck.
Oh, all right.
Stop rolling.
He didn't re-roll. He just decided to add all the damage dice instead of some of them.
So, we're all good.
This is nonsense, man.
For-
I take
for
back
now.
those 12 courtesy points that I did.
You know, when we realize like he's rolling for like cliff integrity to see whether or not Mal just like
Dies.
falls to his death. You know, I heard the story of a brave dwarf once. If you just flap your wings, I mean your arms, hard enough.
As long as you
I don't
get
know
a
the
nat
story.
20, anything is possible. But yeah. So yeah, that's Earth Elemental's turn. Mal, you're dangling.
It's bullshit.
The ground is visibly vibrating on both sides of the mountain or of the pass. And it's the dwarves' turn, and the dwarves are going to follow your instructions to try and smash at the core.
Inspired, man.
Hey,
That's right, inspired.
Oh,
All right, so thankfully for them, the AC of the core is not 18.
rip.
Yeah. And half of them are going to hit the mark.
yes. My people.
All right. So the crossbow bolts slam into the core of this thing, and each crossbow bolt basically stick into the anacalcum. You can see the power leaking out. The whirring is growing ever weaker, and this thing is still up, but it's shaking. And you can see its eyes that have been glowing kind of like red hot coals are kind of dwindling, going off and on, essentially.
Damn right.
Right. And
Right on,
so,
brothers.
Say it
Myster-
with heart.
mysterious figure's turn.
Oh, the atmosphere is ready. I just remembered to switch back to the blizzard from the hearth
Yeah.
just now.
And this guy had thrown away his shield. He was ready to go mano a mano with you.
Oh, he sure can try.
And you see his gaze look slightly to the left as a new companion has joined on this side of the chasm. And he roars in anger at this. I will not let this holy do be interrupted by you. And he yells something out in an ancient tongue. Dorito Kuka! And Soren, yes.
I want to double check this before it happens. I would like to cast a spell magic.
Get wrecked.
Okay.
That's that's a Paladin of Devotion spell. So it kind of just happens around me. Okay. You So this is instantaneous, any spell of 3rd level or lower.
Yep. And so
Ends, and for each spell of 4th or higher, make an ability check.
So Soren, you had felt your mind began to be invaded, but it's like a different force wrenches it out of your head, and the masked figure looks to you, Illigith. And says, always protecting their allies first and foremost, every follower of his. It's okay though. My duel will not be interrupted. And he slashes at you, and while he's attacking Illigith, Soren, please make a dexterity saving throw.
No.
Did you say no?
Am I within Illigus bonus?
The saving throw bonus?
How-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be.
25.
Yeah, it's 30 feet. Okay, yeah. So, Illigith, I'm going to give you the damage.
Okay.
So he slices into you with this black iron axe. Right. Once again, smiting you. And did you want me to separate it again?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so this time you're going to take 16 normal damage. You're going to take... Oh, I forgot to roll this.
Okay.
You're going to take 5 necrotic.
Okay.
And you're going to take 11 smite.
Okay. Got it.
And in front of you, Soren, a hammer flew flying through the air, attempting to strike you. But you dodged it, and it just stays there, stuck into the ground, and a crack into the pass. And materializing next to it is another figure, this time dressed in a white cloak. This figure, while tall, is slender, standing over you, Soren, with a plain, simple white mask covering the figure's face. As they grab the hammer, and the hammer glows with purple magic energy. The figure says nothing. Illigith.
Okay. So, true Illigith fashion, Soren took priority in that moment, and fortunately, I rolled my to hit, which was a 26 and a 21. That's using his advantage. But I did not roll my damage, so I don't get a level 3 smite on him because of that Dispel Magic, but I will get 2 level 2 smites.
All right.
And it's at this point in this fight that Illigith kind of ramps it up a notch. It's kind of just been, yeah, and I know this sounds silly, but almost like warm-up throws but now he's in his groove, and the elements that should be beating him down around him are as if they're not even there. Crack, crack. So that's going to be my last 2 remaining second level spell slots for that's 48 total. Not damage, 4 die 8, and then another 4 die 8 plus 4d6.
You have an extra d6 from me.
Yes. So we're getting there. Okay, so that's
You know?
12 plus 13. It's 25. Plus 25 plus 11 is 36. Plus 1 from Soren is 6. So 41 to the first hit. And the second hit comes around in the uppercut, attempting to smash his mask off of his face. 15, 12, 27. We got Mike Tyson up in here. Boom, 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 boom.
And so you hit.
Now, these are not quick hits, by the way. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just excited. These are massive hits. They're just not quick. Burn off his ear. Submit.
And so you smash
Excited.
this guy. The first hit, enormous, breaks his guard completely. And causes him to stagger back, winded, and then your final his face punch him right in the face, attempting to crack the mask and take it off his face. You do so as I scramble. Bites off his ear. That's right, honestly. All right. Okay. I don't have this picture on my phone. I need to quickly get it.
You will be bested this day.
All right, so I'm going to attempt to share this. Whenever I try and do this, it normally doesn't go well, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I will only look at your picture.
Yes, and not look at anything else.
I will only look at you.
The heck? Where is it?
Molly, you lost it.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding? I saw it earlier. I looked at it earlier.
I just also wanted to add a little detail about like how the shield is planted in front of Raymond. It's like there's like this paper thin, almost not visible shield, like sphere of golden light that is encompassing him. Just wanted to add that.
All right. Okay, so this is so embarrassing. Okay, so the photo isn't wanting to load on my computer, so thankfully I have GroupMe open. I will just send it into the group. Or I could just send it to Logan.
Either one. I mean, Soren's technically here, but
I'll just send it to Logan.
that's fine. We'll figure it out later. You. I knew it!
The mask cracks away, showing a dark-skinned figure with these glowing red eyes And despite the damage you've done to him, he's smiling, Illigith, looking up at you, blood trickling from his mouth. Says, "Yes. Yes, this is what I wanted. This is what I've wanted for so long. To finally fight with him again. It's been so long." But I must have patience. We will meet again, son of Ilmater, when I am truly ready for you. And he, in that instant, a figure appears in front of him. This time a taller, more muscular figure, also in a white cloak, with a simple plain white mask covering its face. This figure, Illigith, is the same height as you. And you can feel it staring through the holes in the mask at your face. And then they both vanish. Same thing as the figure that went to you, Soren. The earth elemental behind both of you begins to crumble and disintegrate. Well, not disintegrate, just breaking apart, and these massive rocks crashing into the ground. And the rumbling that has been going on increases as you look up. Both Dolgrim and Roderick's voice can be heard barely above the blizzard, the whipping wind. Avalanche! Right, this has just happened. Illigus, Soren, y'all are across this 20-foot chasm. Mal, you're dangling off the side. The earth elemental has crashed. Please tell me what you all do as quickly as y'all can.
Where's this avalanche at? Our side of the chasm, their side, both sides?
Both.
Yeah, so I'm super confused as to like what my position is. Like I don't know how high I am up on the mountainside. I don't know like from what side the rocks are coming from. I'm guessing from like if this is like the rock wall, I'm like right here, and it's coming from over here. Like, can you describe this to me, like spatially?
So you, Mal, I've been imagining you over the cliff face, and you just managed to hit the crossbow grappling bolt. You're dangling about 10 feet below the cliff face right now.
It's like 10 feet from the ground or 10 feet from like the top of the cliff?
10 feet from the top of the cliff.
Okay. And how tall is that from the ground?
A long way,
Wait.
I thought.
Okay, what are you imagining? There's the pass. You are 10 feet below the pass.
So I'm only 10 feet in the air. Like from the ground that's below me.
The ground that is above you.
No, you're
Oh,
dangling.
the ground way below you, you can't see the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, so like the void thing?
Yeah, the void.
Oh, I thought I was up on some like actual like. So here's the pass. I thought he threw me up like on a cliff wall, and I was dangling like here's like the path, and here's like a cliff wall. I thought that's where I was at, like still under the like over the pass.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay.
The way I envisioned it, the way I thought I described it, is he threw you down. You basically rolled over, like rolled and tumbled from the impact and just the force of this over the side, and you barely hit the. You didn't barely, but you got out the crossbow and shot into the side of the cliff, and now you're dangling.
Yeah, no, so when you said cliff, I thought you meant the same cliff that the rock golem came over, and so that's why I was confused.
No.
Nope, you're hanging over the abyss, Broham.
Hanging over the abyss.
Do we know he's there?
I do not.
Or do I, since I'm on the edge still?
Okay, and so...
I wouldn't say that you would.
I mean,
I
it
can-
kinda just happened.
And I could hear, like, the rock golem and the avalanche, like, begin to crumble in front of me.
Yeah, so basically above you, in front and above you. So, like, you see the rocks, like, tumbling from this thing. You see the giant cudgel of an arm fall into the abyss below.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you see Dolgrim, again, we're trying to do this as quickly as we can. We see Dolgrim going over to the side. Like, Mal, get up here!
Okay. Gotcha. So, here's the cliff. I'm right here. Dolgrim and them are, like, over here somewhere. And I'm, like, right there.
Yes.
Okay. Then, yeah, I would just... I guess climb up the rope thing? Or is that possible? Like, is it like I push a button and it projects me forward? Or, like, I don't know how this thing...
Yeah, so you saw the dwarves use it like that.
Oh, I used it like that. I'm stupid. Yeah, I used it like
like-
that. Yeah, never mind. Well, I didn't know if it was broken or something, like from the massive amount of damage that I took.
Good idea.
What? So, Molly, just kind of, so you see it. So I feel Malvadrian, like the 40 points of damage, I thought was like much more exaggerated, and like one arm is like hanging limp, and like blood is kind of just trickling out of his mouth as he kind of like pushes on the release, and his like one arm is just kind of like laying there like limp, lifeless type of almost, and he kind of gets to the top of the cliff and just like in an insane, inordinate amount of pain, like rolls over, gets on his knee, and is just kind of like hobbling over there with like his left leg and left arm just kind of like trailing behind him as fast as he can go.
Right.
And I kind of see it like if it gets to the point where he's about to get overtaken by the rocks, he would misty step with like the last 30 feet or however many feet over into like the safe area type of a thing.
So Mal, that's your round. You get up, you do that. Illigith, Soren, what are y'all doing? You'll have 2 rounds.
Do we see a safe space? Safe spot? Somewhere.
In the blizzard and everything like this, you see either you could go back the way you came, or you could go across the chasm.
Aren't we across the chasm already?
On the opposite side of y'all's allies, the opposite side of where you want to go.
Oh. Is Mal on the same side as we are?
No.
I'm so confused spatially as to where we are.
Why?
Next to me.
Do you
Wait,
want to go to the
what?
chasm?
No,
Which side of the
Mal is
chasm?
on the original side,
Yes.
and I'm on the opposite side from the
Yes.
beginning. And Soren went across to my side, and as soon as he did,
Yes.
you fell off the cliff on your side.
Yes.
Yes, but he threw me, and I thought he threw me towards y'all's side.
No.
No.
That's in my head what I'm imagining.
That's
Okay,
awful.
Logan, I need a map just for these two.
Molly, I know you need a map. Like the map is not restrictive; it just helps the players.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, I said that, or I take back what I said. It really is confusing.
I mean, you threw him at our side of the chasm.
No, I
No,
never.
he
I
threw
did-
me
I did
into
not.
the
Threw
chasm.
you down to the ground, and you rolled off your side of the cliff. That's
So how I imagined is he threw me
Yes.
across the chasm.
Right.
Is what I
Yeah.
thought that he was
That's what I
explaining.
thought the boy said as well.
Yeah.
Either
Sorry,
way,
Molly, I'm in the minority here.
Wait.
All right, whatever. It's
We're
fine.
not at fault here.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all are on the other side of the chasm. Y'all have 2 rounds. Go.
Is Dahlgrim on my side of the chasm?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm running to Dahlgrim. Screw you
so
guys.
two
I'm so
dwarves are
confused.
basically eviscerated or just like disintegrated on your side, Illigith. Two of them are unconscious, and there's Raymond.
Yeah, that's right. I'm waiting for Soren to move because I'm technically much slower, and I'm still doing my thing.
Oh shit. Forgot about Raymond.
Don't worry about Raymond.
How about I worry about Raymond and not you?
That wouldn't make any sense, but go ahead.
Right. Um.
School
What?
Hangouts have a timer.
Would I know
Yeah.
there's a spot on the other side of the chasm?
Well, you can just make a timer.
Correct.
All right, what's up, Ryan?
Would I know of a safe spot on the other side of the chasm?
So on the other side of the chasm. Okay. So the avalanche is coming down,
Right.
and okay. So I'm like, here's the thing in my head. I'm imagining one thing, and I know what you're asking, but okay. On the other side of the chasm, Ryan, is where you want to go. From where you are right now, you do not see any quote-unquote safe spots.
Right. I'm gonna run up to Raymond and
Oh,
Illic.
good God. Please don't. I'm doing something.
And never mind.
Thank you.
To the other side by myself. Next to Dolgrim. Or as close to
From
him
the
as
dwarves.
yeah. And then I follow whatever he says to do.
All right. Dolgrim, with the wise words of wisdom of any dwarf that shall be known throughout the generations. Fucking run! And he starts running along the paths.
So, Illigith, his enemy now, vanished before him. Eyes still burning, takes 2-3 steps towards the remaining footprints of where his enemy has disappeared from. And as he does so, the flames on his fists and eyes dissipate. And he bends down on a knee, swiping a handful of snow. And it melts as it touches his warm hand. Mater, grant me victory in your stead. And as he does, he says this, he stands quickly and swiftly, running towards where his shield was implanted in the ground, grabbing it, hoisting up Raymond over his shoulder, locating the remaining 2 unconscious dwarves, and dragging them to the cliff face, not the chasm, but towards the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And he finds just any kind of rock that's any kind of sticking out, like an inch, and that's where he plants the dwarves, Raymond, and himself on top of it, and hoists his shield over his back, readying himself for what's to come.
All right. So, one round remaining. Illigith has done this. I would say that his actions there took 2 rounds to do. Because it was a lot.
If I get another action or whatever, I'm going to cast shield on whosoever or all of us or however you want to say that. just casting a spell to cast a spell.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I never get to use that spell. Or Sanctuary. It's Sanctuary.
All right. And
that probably doesn't apply, but it doesn't matter.
all right. Adrian, Soren on the other side.
Did you ask us a question, or did you say it's your turn? We kind of broke up on my end.
Okay, so the avalanche is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so. So
really?
Okay. Okay, Soren, you look up with Malvadrian. You look up. Well, Mal, do you have dark vision? No, you're human.
No,
right?
I don't.
Okay. Let's just say that y'all both have high pass perception. It's fine. Y'all look up. You can essentially see the avalanche coming down. You see that farther along the pass, the avalanche does not reach that far. So there you go. It is not a complete mountainside avalanche. It is a focused one.
And okay, well, I was running to Dolgrim my last turn.
Yeah.
So how far away am I from Dolgrim, and how far are, I guess, us, me, and Dolgrim, and the rest of the dwarves from that point which you specified?
So I mean, you're faster than Dolgrim, so you've caught up to him.
Well, I'm running injured, so
Sure.
I'd say I'm like half movement speed. To be fair, for role playing sake.
I would say that you are.
Or 2/3 speed, if that helps you. I don't care about it.
I would say that you're about 40 feet away from that point.
Okay. So I would spend the first part of my turn as I arrived with Dolgrim to point out, let's run to that location. And I kind of get everybody, everybody who's either can't hear us from the loud noise or just grabbing people and just go. And I'm kind of the last one running. And so this is the last turn before the avalanche full on hits everything except for that path, right?
Pretty much.
So how I kind of imagine it is I can only get from the 40 feet that I have to get to safety, I can only get to 30 feet with my natural running with this hobbling. And so as the projectiles and the rocks and the snow kind of come cascading down, I kind of send something deep within my soul, minting. And we misty step the last 10, 15 feet, kind of right as the rock would have hit my face or my body or whatever. And I land kind of face first on the ground, just kind of coughing up blood, and with my left arm and left leg kind of lying limp as I kind of roll over onto my back, exhaling while coughing up blood. That'll be the end of my turn. Unless something else happens, Molly, and I'll hate you. Okay.
All right. Soren. So this is what Mal did. Now what are you doing?
Yeah. Got this, bro.
Yeah, just about the same time seeing Mal point out this place that we can run to for safety. He too has noticed it as well, but he looks, instead of looking at Mal, he's looking at the dwarves to see if anybody's injured and hobbling along as they are slower. He's trying to do his best to, take one on each arm if there's two, or, kind of half carry them along as he can move 90 feet around.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, so you actually see Roderick attempting to hoist two dwarves and go forward. He's basically telling you, go!
He'll take one of the dwarves from Roderick if there's not another one. Just kind of drag him across. He can't really pick up these massive little stout dwarfs. We'll drag them to safety and then turn around just in time to see Mal blink from right in front of him, about to be smashed by these boulders. Land next to him, coughing up blood. He turns his knees down and tries to bandage or put pressure on these wounds the best he can.
All right. Awesome. So, Soren, Mal, you narrowly avoid the avalanche. Roderick makes it across, just barely in time as well. Illios, however, I would like you to make a strength saving throw.
That's a 20, Molly.
And that 20?
No.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's
just wanted to say it like that so you thought it was.
So you are over the two unconscious dwarfs and Raymond, holding your shield above your head, and you feel just the crushing weight of rock and snow as it barrels over you on your shield, deflecting it. Your arms are struggling against the weight of this avalanche, and basically all you can see is a world of white. And it lasts lasts for about 15 seconds. And as your arms are about to give out to the weight, it stops. And the avalanche has ceased. And you are there over the three that you protected.
And in his mind, Illios thinks to himself, how fitting for the last of the line of the Thunukavan, the tribe that is known as the Avalanche of Thunder.
And with that, we'll end our session. You thought you were getting an outro. You're not.